It's Mooman.
Mooman?
This is not a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mooman. It is Mooman on the mic.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your man's once again, Mooman on the mic, back with another episode of the Initiative Podcast, where we get into everything sociology, psychology, celebrity news, world news, and WTF. Let's go. Okay, y'all gotta bear with me because it's been a long day and I'm a little discombobulated, but shout out today goes to John Boyega. All right, 3 weeks ago, John Boyega got there to Hyde Park, Eastern New York, and protested the protection of women in his address to Black Lives Matter. All right, and he is the shout out of the day because anytime a black man is talking about the protection of women in general, I'm here for it. You know what I mean? We just have to make sure that our women is protected. We got to make sure that the feminine, the divine feminine energy is guarded at all costs, protect her at all costs. That was the theme of John Boyega in his address to Black Lives Matter in a recent gathering. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to get into more with that. But shout out to John Boyega. Let's get into the headline hero. Okay, the headline hero goes to Black Mental Health Awareness Month. As y'all know, mental health awareness is all month long. And we got to make sure that we stay up on our mental health. Now, in the last couple episodes, I've been talking about mental health in relation to one of the biggest plantation mansions that just burned down, and our mental health in relation to history, our epigenetics, what we're going through, what we've been through, and where we're going to go through into the future. And right now, another aspect to look at in regards to our mental health is the social circles that we choose to be a part of. You see what I'm saying? Because the social circles define our mental standing with ourselves, our emotional intelligence. You know that saying that if you are the smartest person in your social circle, you need to switch social circles? I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily switch, but you definitely need to upgrade the social etiquette within the groups that you're referring to, because that's where mental health truly lies, in the communication of others. You know, just as us being as social animals. You see what I'm saying? We have to communicate better. That's a part of our mental health. The lack of communication is a part of our mental health as well. You know what I mean? And it depends on what kind of topics we lack in communicating, and the topics we do have the vulnerability to communicate in, to grow better and to aspire to be better in our minds. You see what I'm saying? And the social groups are extremely important, and Mental Health History Month is all about the sociology of our mental states. And that's another thing that we have to keep in mind as we move forward into 2026. Now let us get into the headline hunting. Okay, let's do it. Headline hunting. Caitlin Clark pushes. Caitlin Clark is known as the bully, as this past recent game, she reignites tensions between her rivals. You see what I'm saying? And if y'all have seen the videos, y'all seen the games, y'all know how it gets down. The WNBA is coming up, okay? The WNBA is on a high rise, a high light, okay? Yeah, it's a little aggressive, okay? Caitlin Clark has suggested that her bulliness is because taking fouls to deter a two-point shot is the way to go, versus, you know what I'm saying, allowing them to get an and one, if you will. They don't ever give up no and ones, all right? Which makes sense because we do this in the NBA all the time. You see what I'm saying? We can't get too shook up when we see it in WNBA competitive nature, Caitlin Clark or otherwise. Shout out to the entire WNBA, and shout out to, you know what I'm saying, everyone that played the games just these past game sessions. All right, headline hunting. All right, coming out of Black Business News, Ilyasha Shabazz, I may have messed her first name up, Malcolm X's daughter, moves forward with suing the agencies accountable with the assassination of Malcolm X. $100 million lawsuit, okay, out of Washington Heights, target the FBI, the NYPD, and more. all right, in the assassination of 39-year-old at the time Malcolm X. Okay, he was shot over 21 times. His family was there. It's still unsolved, allegedly. We're gonna figure it out. You see what I'm saying? As we know, Malcolm X was one of the leading black examples of revolution, one of the leading black examples of black intelligence and bringing people together through a time of segregation and just horrendous laws being put against us at that time. Black leaders have always been the threat when it comes to the insecurities of the racism and prejudice that plagues the minds of those who suffer from the mental disorder of racism and prejudice, as I've been saying in multiple episodes. You see what I'm saying? And when we get to the bottom line, when the truth truly comes out about Malcolm X, there will be hell to pay. There's gonna have to be hell to pay. What do you expect? You see what I'm saying? Y'all dug them holes. It's time to dig yourselves out of them. Headline hunting. All right, Blue Sky is plotting a total takeover of the social internet, okay? All the lefties fled to Blue Sky following Elon Musk's Twitter takeover, but CEO Jay Graber says the app is for everyone and could revolutionize how people communicate online. This is an article coming out of Wired. Jay Graber, the CEO of Blue Sky, the 34-year-old chief executive, cuts a different figure than most social media bosses. Earlier this year, after Mark Zuckerberg wore a shirt winking at his king-like status at Meta, Graber donned a near-identical top that instead called for a world without kings. The satirical rebuttal was good press, and Blue Sky ended up making major dough selling the shirt. But it also reflects her idea that this project ultimately cannot be controlled by a single leader. You see what I'm saying? She just got done doing an interview. Right now, Blue Sky has 34.6 million users. Blue Sky's, mainframe wetware and software is not too much different than any other social media site, but it's unique in the following and how it's being marketed and how it's being branded, which is very, very creative. It's definitely head of the spear, tip of the spear, and I am looking forward to the evolution of Blue Sky, all right, and Jay Graber being the CEO, how she navigates the direction and engineering of Blue Sky and the social gatherings that it brings, okay? Headline hunting. Telegram shuts down China's largest darknet crypto marketplace. Okay, Hao Wang guarantees. All right, this is coming out of Telegram. Telegram shut down Hao Wang guarantee on May 13th, ending what analysis called the largest crypto-enabled black market with over 27 billion laundered through Asia's cyber scam ecosystem. Okay, Hao Wang, formerly Hui Wane guarantee, I probably messed that one up too, relied entirely on Telegram for operations, while its parent Huion Group, probably messed that up too, is under investigation for processing 98 billion in suspected illicit crypto, including funds tied to North Korea's cybercrimes. All right, despite the takedown, related networks like Zinbi Guarantee and Tudo Guarantee are already emerging. Telegram has terminated what analysis described as the most prolific crypto-driven black market in history, taking down Hao Wang Guarantee, formerly known as Hui Wang Guarantee, serving a laundry network that moved over 27 billion, okay, 42 billion in Asia's money through Asia's cyber scam economy. Okay, Telegram confirmed that the enforcement action in comments to Wired, saying it had removed multiple networks highlighted by third-party investigations, including those cited in elliptic reporting. The shutdown came Monday, and the Hao Wang website displayed the following message. Monday, that means today. Since all our NFT channels and groups were blocked by Telegram on May 13th, Hao Wang Guarantee will cease operations from now on. Thank you for your attention. And I find that interesting because they wasted no time abiding by the shutdown completely. All right, so you know that they knew that there was something going on, and it's been something going on, just like China's black market with their multiple different logos that they put on all of the shirts and all of the hottest labels in the world, quote unquote. They had a market with that through the crypto world, you know what I'm saying, allegedly. So we see all of the crime that's surrounding crypto, and not just crypto, but the laundering of actual monies through digital means. You see what I'm saying? All of that is getting rooted up, and it has to get rooted up because the blockchain, it can't it's always going to track. It always has digital coding. It always has a digital fingerprint, and it's going to be found out one way or another. Now we're finding out how big business and big government is using crypto to launder money, to wash money, you name it. You see what I'm saying? And there are better ways to go about this, legal ways to go about upping your status, upping the millions and billions that it requires to run a country and the like. And what I've been saying in the last episode, as far as us needing to up our knowledge and learning crypto, that's exactly what we need to do as we see these headlines come out and move forward. Now, keep this in mind, though. You see what I'm saying? There's so much money out there. Again, my last special report last night was talking about the Diddy coin and the pump and dump of $180 million, and at the lowest was still $31 to $37 million for a nano stock. That's the price of a nano stock. So when you're playing the highs and the lows, you still at multiple $1 million levels, you have the opportunity to still take up quite a bit of profit depending on how much you put in, depending on the flip, depending on the ratio, whatever analysis that one uses in the market, because there's multiple different techniques of analysis that people use, especially the pros and the professionals. Anyway, you can even be a novice or an amateur, and you can write down the many different techniques that you can use depending on what analysis you're naturally inclined to follow. You see what I'm saying? And again, crypto is going to be the currency for quite a bit of social trends, for quite a bit of social circles. And those social circles are going to require a currency. You know, I know a lot of people talk about the social credit score and this, that, and the third. Hopefully we don't get to that point, because if you attach AI, combine that with a crypto algorithm, and you got yourself a interesting kind of weapon that you can use against people, although you have an even more interesting opportunity as a resource, a technological resource, to advance our banking systems and to advance our way that we consume as well as produce. You see what I'm saying? It's for everybody. There is no way around it. You can't put that genie back in the bottle. You see what I'm saying? Once the business and banking operations at high level are available to multitudes of different public entities, then the only thing to do moving forward is not to try to shut it down like how people do in history and how it's always been done, but to expand it and to see how it can grow with government, how to see how it can grow with elected officials. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's really what matters, especially as us as a people out here advancing ourselves on a social, psychological level. And that's what we need to really concern ourselves with. Our psychology needs to catch up with our social etiquette. But in order for our social etiquette to become polished, we have to make sure that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past, the sins of the past, the monstrosities, the grotesqueness of the past that is America. America holds this past, as well as every other continent and country on the planet to a certain degree. But we got to dig that up and polish that out, smooth that out to create a foundation of belongingness. No otherism, no dysmorphia, no none of that, no phobias. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how are we as a world species going to move into a level type 2 civilization if we're still stuck on level type 1 small arguments? And they are pretty small. The differences between us as a people on this planet are small compared to what unites us as a people, as a species, as one people. You see what I'm saying? And most people just don't want that because it's more beneficial and profitable to exasperate division, to exasperate war, and to exasperate conflict, however small or large, however passive or aggressive. Conflict is conflict. If I'm right and you're wrong, but I stand on a different foundation than you are, we cannot agree to disagree. We got to figure out how we can blend the foundation, because that's really what's going to matter when it comes to the relationships that we have to build moving into 2026, the relationships that we have to build moving into the social intelligences that we'll need, and we will need them. You see what I'm saying? I promise you, because it's going to get to the point where more things are going to get revealed. I mean, the things that have been revealed so far in our banking system and our social standings for each other, all of that more of it is gonna become revealed. You see what I'm saying? Like, and these are the facts, and these are just the things that I think about. That's what this podcast is for. It's getting this out, having this dialogue, engaging, and we're gonna move forward with that at the next episode. Holla at me.
I don't mean no disrespect, but no way. I can't